Well, anybody at home right now putting down Herb Dean? Because you would be wildly out of bounds to do so. Oh my goodness, Herb Dean gets put in the hardest spots. Oh my goodness, I have never seen a referee get put in harder spots. Olajaychik. I don't know. Kevin Holland. Okay. Olajaychik, boom, cracks him on the feet. Kevin Holland closes the distance, gets down to the ground. Olajaychik comes out on top. Kevin Holland spins to an armbar. I mean, your most basic armbar, and he finds it. But a most basic armbar is about the only armbar that's going to win. Now, you might have Fabricio Verdum style setups, but it's a basic armbar. Verdum would tell you that too. And when you get a guy, nobody wants to get beat with a basic hold. None of us want to do that. But I remember my first time getting hit with that was in practice. One of my great teammates who went on to be a big star, the crippler, Chris Lieben. But at the time, Chris was still fighting amateur. I was a pro, and he got invited to our practice. And I mean, I'm just sharing with you, we lock up. And I underestimate him. And he jumps. It's a jump on his feet. He jumps into an armbar. And it's one of those spots, by the time you hit the mat, if your arm is too far in, you're in big trouble. You're already beat, right? You want to know the best way to not tap out in that armbar? Don't get caught then. And yes, I realize how annoying that is, but you'll have actual coaches that tell you that it's the truth. And there's a lot of things you can do to beat the armbar, but they all involve getting out of the position, and getting out of the position largely means slip out of the position. And when you hear the term slip out of the position, that, my friends, is literal. And to slip or slide anywhere, you gotta have a sweat going. That's the point I'm trying to get at. Like, that technique is not likely to work in the second round, in the third round, at the end of the first round. Again, go back and ask for doom. I mean, if you really want to, right? So let's go back to the position, okay? Armbar, so what? Nothing to talk about. Well, not so fast. What do you do when the guy doesn't tap? And Herb Dean got put in a colossally tough position. And Herb was put there 14, 15, 16, 17 years ago. Frank Mir versus Tim Sylvia. Frank Mir has the armbar. Tim Sylvia does not tap. Herb Dean stops the fight. Place goes crazy. That includes the boss. They show it on replay. We're sorry, has the crew put it up on replay so we can all get pissed off at Herb Dean. Well, on replay, when they zoom in, it popped. Tim Sylvia's bone broke. And when it broke, it popped up to the skin. And it showed it on the replay. And the whole building that was booing Herb all of a sudden goes, and I bring that to you because, you know, Herb Dean's the one that gets caught in the Askren Lawler situation. And now Herb Dean is caught in this situation. He's handling these things perfectly. He really is. It is a colossally difficult thing to answer. Right? Renzo Gracie dealt with this with Sakuraba. Jamal Hill dealt with this. And, you know, he's fighting Craig. Craig does this arm style technique. And these guys, whether it was Renzo or it's Holland's guy tonight, whether it's Tim Sylvia, whether it was Jamal, they all had one thing in common. They could no longer use their arm. No, they had two things in common. And they didn't tap. So what do? If you're the referee and you let it go, and you know enough about the sport to know it's going to break. However, per the authority and the rules that you have, do you let it break? Because at that point, you can deem he is injured and I'm not going to let this fight go on. Right? Just like you bring a doctor and there's too much blood coming down, or there's too much swelling and it blocks his eye and therefore hinders him. When a guy's arm is broken to the point that he cannot lift it up, it is now dangling. He's lost all control. It's as though it's paralyzed. He cannot go on. So if you're Herb and you see that position and the fighter's made a very clear choice, which is I am not going to tap, and Herb is going, well, I don't have a mechanism where I can stop the fight if you don't tap. However, I know the same as you know that it's going to break. And what is the point of that? Why would any of us do that? Well, that's back where the ball's in the fighter's court. Herb did the right thing. Each one of those situations, Herb did the right thing. He did the right thing in the Lawler fight. He did the right thing in the Tim Sylvia fight. I'm just saying, you got to slow down a little bit before you judge Herb. And then what comes next for Kevin Holland? I mean, he's everybody's favorite fighter, but he's got the right to be. He deserves to be. I'm happy to see him do well, and that's not because I want to see the opponent get hurt. I damn sure don't want to see somebody get injured. But Kevin Holland, man, his reward for doing things that other guys aren't willing to do is that he gets asked to do more things that other guys aren't willing to do. So whatever he does next, I'm sure it'll be big. And it's a great win. It's a great win for the big mouth.